Good morning. It's 11:35 here in Eloy, Arizona. I arrived here past midnight last night and spent the night a little bit out of town camping in the desert. This is going to be my first video blog, and I am going to tell you about Dave. I rode 609 miles with him coming from Fort Stockton, Texas to this town. Dave is homeless. He's camped near Las Vegas, Nevada for 12 years. He loves the desert. Dave doesn't get to hang around with too many people. Dave wishes he lived back in the Wild West because of the adventure. Dave's had a rough time. He's broken his leg a few times, and at one point it didn't look like he was going to be able to walk again. But he did. He fought back, and it's a miracle that he does. He broke his back. He had a couple heart attacks and a stroke. Dave says a heart attack will it makes you feel like you want to jump out of your skin. It is so painful. Passionately believes in Christianity and Jesus, and he talks to me about the gospel for hours as we're riding along. I was originally only going to ride with Dave until El Paso, Texas, which would have been 4 hours from Fort Stockton. But since he's going farther, and it was supposed to be 24 degrees in El Paso that night, whereas in Tucson, Arizona, which was probably another 4 or 5 hours, it was going to be 34 degrees. And further on my way to California, I decided to ride with Dave up until that point. Thinks I should not be hitchhiking. He warns me specifically of UFOs. Dave says in the East they're referred to as fireflies, and they're common, and in the West they're referred to as clickers. He's seen them a few times. He doesn't tell many people that because he doesn't want to appear crazy, but he has had friends who are hitchhiking along the road or hiking along the road get abducted and both physically and mentally be seriously impaired because of it. Dave himself has never been abducted. However, he has had his memory erased a few times, and he could tell this because as he was sleeping in his truck, he would wake up and see something blinking fly off, and he had a distinctly painful headache that would not go away. It felt like his hair was on fire, and also he had a metallic taste in his mouth. He said we spent from around 2 o'clock in Fort Stockton, Texas to past midnight driving together, drinking coffee, eating cheeseburgers. Dave will stop now and again to roll up a cigarette and smoke it. No, and Dave keeps driving. He wants to get to the Colorado River, which is still probably 4 or 5 hours away. We say goodbye, and I head off and find a spot to camp, and I get up and have myself a burrito at this fine Mexican restaurant. And I'm going to explore Eloy today and hopefully have some good photographs to show you. Thanks. Let's create our world.